What's up, guys? The Will here. It's been a while since I did a vlog. If you notice, I got a backdrop. I'm still learning this whole green screen stuff. Apparently, the green I got was not bright enough. It was a bit off green. So when I was just testing it out, it was cropping out my hair because I have blonde hair. So here I am wearing a beanie, and I think I did the best I can. I'm a bit pixelated down there, but it's all good. Um, Next time I'll get a brighter green screen. It'll be a lot better, and y'all can see my blonde hair. One thing I want to talk about is the Ultimate Fighting Game tournament that happened last weekend in the Midwest, hosted by Keats. A lot of controversy swirling around this event. I haven't attended to it. I haven't watched the stream, but I saw a lot of people complaining on Twitter, so it got me really curious what happened. Um, I watched the On Blast show to get a general idea like what happened, but I was just like, I mean, sometimes that stream can be a bit one-sided, a bit real, but I do have a general idea of like what happened, and I guess for those that don't know what's up, um, apparently I think there's multiple situations that happened, but I guess like the main one was the whole Injustice thing. Injustice was slated at a time slot on Saturday night, but it's under a secondary stream. I think some people complained about it, and Keats decided to say, you know what, if you want on primary stream, I'm going to put it on Sunday, but it's going to be Sunday morning. People are complaining about it, and then he just basically told them off, saying, well, if you don't like it, then host your own tournament, and that's that. So I think that basically rubbed people the wrong way when he said it. Um, but let me, I guess, explain, how Keats feel, because I'm basically been hosting tournaments since 2003, so I really know I have a general idea like how he feels. Um, One thing's for sure is like the one thing I have questions about is the whole the primary stream and secondary stream. I know the primary stream is a level up, and from what I've heard from the On Blast show, there's people that want to do their own stream there, because some people have to, because since there's like so many fighting games and with all these majors and stuff, some people have to stream their own game because they want to give more airtime. They want to support their own game. But from what I've heard, people are not allowed to do that because they're on contract with Level Up. They'll ruin their numbers or whatever. So there's only a primary and a secondary stream for this event. The question is what makes the secondary stream so, I guess, so bad, that they have to complain to be on the primary stream. I mean, is it the name? It's like, okay, so yeah, there's more exposure than Level Up, but you know, I'm pretty sure if a good word of mouth and let everyone know beforehand, it's like, hey, we're going to be on this stream on Saturday Night Injustice, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people would show, or a lot of people would watch, I should say. That's the one question I got. I, I mean, if I was there, I wouldn't have complained at all. Like, oh no, it's on the primary stream. Oh man, you know, we're, we're treated lesser than some of the games and stuff. I think that's how they feel. But with Keats, the one thing that I was really disappointed like how he handled it. It's like, people complain. There's some people that do complain like almost every tournament. They have to complain about something, and I'm really surprised that he would give in. But he wants to stick it to him at the same time, saying, "Oh, you want a primary stream? I'm gonna put it on Sunday morning." And that's the way it is. I wouldn't have given. I would have been like, "This is the schedule I have, and that's that." I wouldn't have given. Here's the secondary stream, and let your friends know. This is where it's gonna be shown at. But the way that he handled it was a bit unprofessional. I didn't like it too much, but at the same time, I didn't like how some of the people with the Injustice group complain that it's not on the primary stream. If it's on stream, it's on stream. It's no big deal. I don't know why it's such an issue to pick on certain streams. I mean, as long as it's streamed, if it's recorded, it's going to be up on the internet. People are going to watch it. Not everyone's gonna watch it, like myself. I'm waiting for the recorded streams and whatnot. I haven't gone back to their channel. I should have watched it on Twitch if I wanted to, but eventually I would watch it. So I don't see the problem, of being on a secondary stream. But I'm assuming that if it would have been one person, Keats probably wouldn't give in. But if it had been multiple people, he would, react and say, you know what, you want on primary stream, Sunday morning. The whole if you don't like it, then host your own tournament. It's kind of like a defensive mechanism. There's times that people like assume that oh, this hosting tournament thing is easy, and just like, why can't you, there's some people that do it all the time. It's like, we'll host this tournament, host that tournament. There's a lot of like things that you have to do to make the tournament work. You can't just go, okay, I'm just gonna have this tournament and just make it happen and produce people to show up. It doesn't work that way. And there's times in my head I was just like, man, I really wish that these people host their own tournaments so they can understand how I feel. I think that's what Keats was trying to say. I mean, he kind of said it the bad way, but the way he's trying to say is like, don't complain unless you host your own tournament. I think that's what he really wanted to try to say, but I think he said it the wrong way, and it definitely rubbed people the wrong way when he said that. There's also other nitpick stuff too. I think some people saying stuff like about the whole dive kick thing. How come it has 8 stations and why the others have 4? For what I understand is Iron Galaxy's one of the sponsors, so they brought 8 setups. They're all developmental PS3s because dive kick is not out yet. So they brought 8 stations, from what I understand, and there's only like 4 stations for the other games and stuff. Again, it's not a big deal. If I mean, if someone let me borrow 8 stations, and for this one game, I definitely rock it, So I don't think there's any wrongdoing with that. There's a whole trophy thing issue going on, which another nitpick thing. I think is one of those things where it's like when something bad happens, they try to point out like all the little bad stuff so they can try to add up and make it like the worst tournament possible. The trophy thing was really cool. I mean, if you guys haven't seen it, it's like it lights up, and I'm like, oh my god, that's cool. I've never seen a light up trophy before. And according to one of the people that talked in the On Blast show, they said like it costs like Keats like almost like $300, and there's only a certain amount of like trophies that he purchased. The one controversy thing that people point out was a trophy. You can get the trophy by winning a raffle or something like that, or having the most raffles, or I don't know what the case may be. It's like, why does a raffle get a trophy and not one of the games, More Common Justice, I forgot what. And I assume that is probably pushing the raffles, like, hey, if you guys partake on the raffle contest or whatnot, yeah, you have a chance to win the trophy. So I think it's just encouraging people to get the raffles and stuff, raffle tickets. I assume. I'm not too sure, but people don't come to tournaments to win a trophy. They try to win that money. I won't go like out of state. I want to go to Ultimate Fighting Game tournaments. Like, I'm gonna try to win this tournament so I can win that trophy. Trophy's cool, but I wouldn't have said that. I think that trophy is like an extra thing. He didn't have to go out and buy trophies, but he did. He wanted to make it special, especially being all light up and spending $300, which is pretty crazy. But the whole trophy thing, I think some people point out, is kind of like a little bit. I guess they're trying to get as much dirt as they can to point out Keats as a biased person and whatnot. If he would have been biased towards Injustice, he wouldn't have Injustice there in the first place. But he has it there, so I mean, you can't really say that he's like biased towards the community or whatnot. And then I guess like afterwards, again, he's taking it wrong way. He's like backlashing to some people like on Twitter and stuff. I think I saw some on Twitter. It's like I think someone asked like, "What are you not going to have Injustice? The people don't want you to have Injustice there anymore next year. What do you think?" And I think he said something along the lines like, he doesn't really care. Oh, no Injustice, no more comment. That's fine, or something like that. So again, this is not looking good for Keith, especially when he's like behind the whole dive kick project. It's not, you know, it's definitely making him look bad, and now all of a sudden people say like dive kick sucks, and it's kind of sad, to see that, because some people like dive kick, and then all of a sudden it's bad because of Keith's attitude. And one thing I point out too, I think some people point out that he's a anal retentive regarding about time. You know, if you're not on time, you're DQ'd or whatnot. Which is not a problem with that. I don't see the problem with that. All TOs are different. There's some people who are nice and allow people to have some time. There's some people who didn't like it because it's favoritism towards the top players or whatever. But it's all the TO's discretion. And if he's a stickler for time, then that's what he's about. And people knew about it, and people were talking about it on Blast Show. So if he's a stickler for time, he wants everything to be on time, perfect. So for people to say, oh, you should have like Injustice on the primary stream, I guess in his mind is like he wants to have everything to be on time. So I think it just really pushed him over to a limit, to the point where that's where he made that decision. Okay, it's gonna be on Sunday morning if you want it on primary stream, and I think he kind of gave in. I mean, it's just like, again, I do know how he feels, because I'm an anal retentive person myself. I think one of my pet peeves. I hate being accused of something I didn't do. Um, I don't know. I really take it like to heart when some people accuse me of something I didn't do, even if I know they're trolling. Like, I do take offense to it. And there's one certain person in the previous tournament. So, he. I'm not gonna mention his name, but there's times that he goes like, "Oh, Will rigs the tournaments," and I do take pride of making the brackets and making it as even as I can. And I try to respond back, and I was just like, I don't know, maybe because you lost to a better person. No, I think that you pair against me against a better person in early of the tournament. But the one thing I was about to retaliate, but I bit my tongue because I know there's gonna be a lot of drama if I say something back. I would have been like, well, everyone's good against you, so it's like, you're gonna have to deal with a good player in the first match. I didn't want to say that because, I would insult his, I guess, his skill level. I didn't want to say it, but I had to bite my tongue, and I had to keep it professional, and I want to set an example to the people and stuff, and I just had to deal with it. Even if it's my pet peeve, I have to deal with it. And I think with Keats, his pet peeve is he wants everything to be on time. And if you're trying to change the time around, I think he gets like a bit anal retentive. I think that's my assumption. And one thing too, like I actually Keats actually was a WiLL guy. He posted in WiLL back in '05, and the one time I met him was at Midwest Championships 2008. I was rooming, Hart Nana like housed me. I think Toro Sanchez, a couple other players, and I believe Keats as well. And I remember one time when we were about to leave, I think I got the time mixed up, and it was like Central, and I'm from Florida, so I'm on Eastern time, so I think I got the time mixed up. So I said like I was supposed to be there at 2, but I was supposed to be there at 1 or something like that. And when he looked at when I showed him my ticket, I was like, oh, I think I got the times mixed up. And he's supposed to like take me to the airport. And Keith was like, oh crap, you're gonna be late. Oh no! So he's like, all right, everyone, hurry up. so everyone like got her stuff, and he was driving. He was going pretty fast and whatnot, and he was freaking out for me, and I was just like, you didn't have to do that, but I guess he really wants me to be on time so I don't miss my flight and stuff, and then and then that was that, and I thought that was kind of cool of him, So like I knew from the past that he's a stickler for time, and when things are not on time or when you have to change around time, I would understand how he would feel. He would be very agitated, you know. But I think he pretty much got to his boiling point because to run a tournament like the Ultimate Fighting Game tournament, being part of the Road to Evo, um, it's very stressful, and to deal with like just turnouts. I think like Injustice had 170. I think Street Fighter like over that. I think like 190. Marvel had like 200 something. Like you'd have to imagine yourself in his shoes. Like the stress that you would have to deal with all those people, all those pools and stuff, and make sure everything runs correctly and stuff. That's hella stressful. And I definitely feel for him for that. But at the end, I do see some compliments that people said that he ran the tournament on time. Everyone, there were some people that had fun, and that's all that matters. If the tournament ran on time, that's awesome. Because there's always something that gotta go going on with the tournaments and stuff. But if he had it like running on time and follows people, that's definitely a big props to him. Sure, he can be anal retentive with the time and stuff, but he got the job done, and that's the one thing that was overlooked. I think most people are focusing more on the negativity than the positive, and there's like I think he had gave an ad to Flash or Flash Metroid. I didn't look into that more. Some people said that the tournament organizers gave a bad attitude. I didn't know what's the deal with that. He didn't mention any names. Um, but at the bottom line is like if the tournaments ran on time, that's an accomplishment right there. So, I mean, yeah, it sucks that there's some bad attitudes. They should have been a bit more professional, but you gotta at least give Keats props for that to handle a big tournament like that. When it comes to attitude, though, if it's a big issue, since he's part of Road to Evo, he's like one of the guys behind. I guess doing being an editor in Shoryuken. I think the guys behind Shoryuken and Evo should really investigate this further. Um, See if they condone this type of attitude. If they agree with Keats, don't agree with Keats. If they don't like the attitude, they should really say something about it. Um, if they don't, if Mr. Wizard or the Cannon Brothers are not going to punish Keats in any way, then I guess that's that. I guess there's no wrongdoing if they don't think it's wrong. But at the very least, in my opinion, I think Keats should at least apologize. I mean, I guess to save some sort of face, because now there's some people that don't are trying to boycott his next tournament, or are not going to purchase Dive Kick. So it's very stressful, and I know exactly how he feels. But at the end, you have to be a professional. Professionalism goes a long way, and I'm kind of in the same boat as Keats was back in the day. The whole Naruto Gakketen Ninja Tyson series. That's the game that helped influence the nation. The game didn't come out in states and stuff. I pushed that game, and I definitely poured my heart and soul into it, and hyped the game up, and it was definitely up there, one of the biggest games back then. And the thing is, you don't want any bad PR. Now my name is attached to Naruto Gakketen Tyson series and WiLL Evolution, the fighting game community. And one bad thing about me, if I backlash on someone and it spreads out, it affects all the stuff that's associated with me. So, if I was Keats in this situation, I would at least apologize. You know, I mean, that's, what's done is done. At least I would, you know, make a public apology, or at least apologize those that, that he gave a bad attitude towards. Um, but we'll see. And the whole Evo Shuriken thing, I think they really should investigate, and people should ask them uh, what they should do with Keats. Are they going to do anything about it, or are they going to discipline him, or what? I don't know. So we'll see. But if they accepted his attitude, then you know, and then I guess that's what it is. um, I think that's that, and there's like a lot of small stuff too. That whole trophy thing. It's a supplementary thing. You know, if your game doesn't have it, it's just what it is. He didn't have enough money for their trophies. And then the whole ballroom thing too. It's a big ballroom, and I know from past experience of renting out hotels, it costs a lot of money. So there's a lot of money invested in this whole thing, and um, I definitely feel for Keats on that one. So and I think one person say something in the on Blast show, like the reality is TO's out there to make money. That's it, all of them. And now in my head, I was like, oh, not really. I barely make any money. I do this for the fun. That's how I started, hosting tournaments. I did it for the community because there's back in the '03, there's barely people hosting tournaments. I took initiative, my first tournament was a Soul Calibur 2 tournament in GameStop, and I definitely learned a lot from hosting that tournament. I had a lot of backlash because it was my first time, but believe it or not, I actually considered about stopping after that because I had so much grief, and people on forums talk trash about me. People laugh at me and all that stuff, but I persevere, and I still wanted to host tournaments, and I want to make this community grow. So I had an idea, and I made it a reality. And here I am still hosting tournaments. Next tournament is going to be a Wolvolution at Florida SuperCon in the Independence Weekend, July 4th to July 7th in the Miami Airport Convention Center in Miami, Florida. So I can't wait, and I'm glad I didn't quit on my first fighting game tournament. I wouldn't know where I'd be. Definitely I would know that Wolvolution would have been made, and the NGNT4 and the other series, I don't know like where it would be. So what else? I think that's pretty much it. I'm pretty sure there's other issues with the whole thing, but I think that the whole main thing was the Injustice stream thing. Anything else is probably small. People complain. Oh, I think they say something about the power thing. I think the power flickered or whatnot. And there's some people complain about that. I don't know how severe it was. I don't know, like it was just a small flicker and that was it, or it was a continuous thing at the night. I don't know, but there's going to be malfunctions in these events. I mean, nothing's perfect. I think one MLG tournaments he didn't do a stream, and was it MLG? I forgot what it was, but they couldn't do the stream, and people were complaining that, oh, there's no stream, but they said they were going to put the recording up. I forgot which tournament it was, but I think Justin Wong said something about, oh, there's going to be malfunctions, it happens, was it stream or lights out? I don't know, but this tournament wasn't the first time that something malfunctioned, I could tell you from Wolvolution 2009, I believe, the AC broke, and they had to bust out, these portable air condition things and stuff. They held its own, but it was inconvenient, but it is what it is, But there's always something that happen in the tournaments. But I guess long story short, the people shouldn't really complain about which stream it should be on, and Keith shouldn't handle it the way he handled it, telling people like, oh, if you don't like it, host your tournament, or I'm going to do a Sunday morning, oh, take that, it's that type of attitude, that shouldn't be, he shouldn't happen, that shouldn't happen, and there's people complaining all the time, like literally almost every tournament that I hosted, someone has to complain about something, and you're like, I do something about it, or I don't, but I try to make sure I don't like affect the whole group, if it's just one complaint. I think one time, World Evolution 2009, it was a 2-day event. I think I had Smash on Saturday, and I think there was like another tournament happening on Central, and Mewtwo King came from up north and went to the Central tournament. But on Friday, the day before World Evolution, he instant messaged me and he was saying to tell me to change it on Sunday. And I was like, what? I was just like, I wouldn't change it. I was just like, you're telling me this the day before World Evolution. He's like, well, I'm going to be at the Central tournament and I don't think I'll make it down there. I don't think I'm going to ride until Sunday. And then I said, no, I'm not going to change it, Because if I change it, those that are only going to come on Saturday, those that have probably going to travel like far distance, and then next thing you know, they probably want to do like a one and done thing. They want to show up and shot Saturday and then drive off. If I would tell them, oh, it's going to be on Sunday, it's going to be a lot of inconvenience to those people. Now they have to find a place to stay, or or they have to drive back to where they're from, and then now they have to drive back up, to the venue. So it's gonna be a lot, inconvenience. But I wouldn't want to change it. Mewtwo King at the time was one of the best Brawl players, but I still wouldn't want to change it. For him. I mean, I'm sorry. I have a lot of respect for Mewtwo King, but to make changes like that at the last minute, like really, So, and also another. Well, I guess speaking of like, I'm pretty sure the stream schedule was up beforehand. I think like a month in advance, maybe. And I'm kind of wondering, like, why would people would want to wait the day of to complain? They should at least protest or something the month before, and probably maybe none of this would happen. You probably change it to a better time or whatever, just so they can put it on primary stream. That's another thing too. It's like when some people complain, they like to complain the day of, like, I remember one time, some people told me to put like this game as a tournament right now, like no preparation, just right now. It's like, so yeah, we'll go ahead and ask, everybody if they want this tournament right now, and I'm like, no, because I have a certain amount of time at this venue, and I have preparations for these games, and that's that. Why to do the day of? So that's the one thing I didn't understand. Like, people had to complain the day of the tournament or near the day of. So there's faults on both sides, and if Keats would have just stick to his guns, I honestly think none of this would have happened. In my opinion, I think everyone would talk how awesome the tournament was, and that's it, and everyone move on with their lives. So, but that's my 2 cents. I definitely feel for Keats, but at the very least, you gotta give the man props for what he did. It's a thankless job. He didn't have to do this. No one forced him to do it. He did it because of the fighting game community, and that's that. So props to Keats. Good job. Maybe one day I'll be there. I don't know. I don't know how my schedule is going to be in the future because I'm busy with the whole MMA stuff. So, but at the same time, I think he should apologize at least of the behavior that he gave to some of the people, and that's that. So, also the one thing I almost laugh about is I think someone on the on Blast show made this analogy, talk about like, okay, if you go to McDonald's and you buy a Big Mac, you ran out of the Big Mac sauce, and they just give you the Big Mac and say, here, take it. If you don't like it, then go to Burger King. And I was just like, that's not a really good analogy. I think it was a top player. I don't know if it was CD Junior or who, but I mean, if it is CD Junior, he's a good player. I respect him, but if he did make that analogy, don't make any more analogies. Yeah, because that was funny. I was just like, I mean, like, if they don't have any Big Mac sauce, they would probably tell you from the get-go, And if they don't, and you realize they don't put Big Mac sauce in there, tell them they need to put a Big Mac sauce in there or get a refund. It is just kind of funny. Um, I think that's just pretty much it. But that's all I really have to say about the tournament. Uh, Once again, from one TO to another, it's a really thankless job. It's a time-consuming job. But someone has to do it for the sake of the community. And speaking of, once again, Wolvolution at Florida SuperCon, man, I can't wait. I'm definitely gonna put my heart and soul into this one. And like I said before, this is the best WoW you guys gonna see, so I can't wait. Um, it's definitely gonna be a great time at Florida SuperCon. Trying to think what else. I'm so pixelated. Damn, damn. Can't wait to get that bright green screen so it could be all perfect. I know I want to say something. Oh yeah. Speaking of questions, there's one question that I didn't get to answer. If you go to the Wolvolution Florida SuperCon event page, one person asked, "Why don't you put Ninja Storm 3 in there? You have Ninja Tyson 4. The game is old. Not a lot of people have it. How are people going to practice it? Ninja Storm is a lot more accessible for the people." My whole thing was, back in the day, not a lot of people had Naruto Gakuen and Tyson 4 too, but it was one of the biggest turnouts that I had back in the day. What made it so special is there's only some people that do got the game, but they're forced to get other people to play with them so they could practice and get better and do good in tournaments. So in return, they would bring their group and like, why don't you join? Oh, okay, sure, and then next thing you know, we have multiple groups, and that's how I get big turnouts. And those were the days back then. But now I know it's a less accessible. If you want to go out and buy it, it's discontinued, but it's a free tournament. It's definitely a throwback. Nothing against Ninja Storm tournament. I know there were some demands for it, but I want to put Naruto Gakuen and Tyson 4, because it's a classic, and I think it's fitting to have it at Florida SuperCon. And that's pretty much it. I have nothing against Ninja Storm. I just definitely want to put a throwback in there. Out of all the games, I think all the other games are pretty much next gen, well, with the exception of Guilty Gear. That's technically, unless the Plus R comes out, it's not, it's a somewhat of a throwback. Everything else is basically new, so I just want to throw it in there for good old time's sakes, and it's free anyways, and I know a lot of people are going to join, because when people see Wolvolution, it's kind of like, it's right next to Naruto Gakuen and Tyson 4. It's like, when you ask for a tissue, you want a Kleenex, you want a cotton swab, you want a Q-tip, you want to play Naruto, you go to Wolvolution. You know what I'm saying? So that's my reason. And I got nothing against Ninja Storm. That's my reason. Just for throwback, good old time's sakes. Yeah, and there's a lot of old school players going to show up, so it's going to be really exciting. So. And that's pretty much it. Once again, thanks for listening to me. Hope I wasn't too boring. Wolvolution at Florida SuperCon, July 4th to 7th. The tournament starts at July 5th to July 7th. It's going to open at 10 a.m., ends at 3 a.m. That's a lot of time. The ballroom is 10,000 square feet. Game room is sponsored by Skull Candy. It's a big deal. I'm trying to get sponsors. It's going to be live on twitch.tv/Wolvolution. So for more info, or if you guys want to support me, like this video, follow my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Force of the Will. Like my page, facebook.com/SuperWilvo. Follow me on twitter.com/Wolvolution. And that's pretty much it. So maybe I'll make another vlog. I don't know. Hopefully I get a brighter green screen and everything be all cool and y'all could see my blonde hair. But that's pretty much it. Peace.